Hey, it's Ruth here. I'm just popping in quickly before we dive into today's episode with some exciting news. The Play Schemas Collective is opening its doors for the very first time in just a few days. We'll be welcoming our founding members, and I would love for you to be a part of it. If you're curious to learn more, or if you already know this is for you, head over to playschemas.com and ensure that your name is on the email list. That way, you'll be the very first to know when the doors open. Okay, let's jump into today's episode. This is where understanding play schemas really come into its own. Because when my 2-year-old is suddenly obsessed with pushing the pram back and forth across the living room, I can see through the lens of the transportation and transformation schemas. It's not just a random behaviour, it's them processing the big changes in our family. Hey there, and welcome back to Demystifying Child's Play through Play Schemas. I'm Ruth Verco, and today's episode is a really special one for me because I'm right in the thick of it and definitely in the countdown to baby number 3. So we're preparing my 2 little ones, who are very nearly 2 and 4, for the arrival of the brand new baby brother or sister. Do you have any guesses? So if you're a parent of toddlers or preschoolers and you've got a newborn on the way, or maybe you're just curious about how play schemas can support in family transitions, this episode is definitely for you. We're going to dive on in and explore what play schemas are, in simple parent-friendly language, how understanding them can help reduce frustration and strengthen connections, especially when a newborn is in the mix. And we'll share my top 3 things every child needs to know about a new baby coming, which, spoiler alert, they are sleep, cuddles, and mummy milk. And I couldn't do this without a little bit of a bonus about how schemas link beautifully with the love languages. So let's get comfortable, whether you're out on a walk, catching a rare moment of quiet, or multitasking around the house. Let's dive on in and explore welcoming a new baby into the family mix. Okay, so what are play schemas? If you've been following me for a while, you'll know that play schemas are those repetitive, curious, sometimes slightly chaotic behaviours your children just can't help but do. Maybe your toddler keeps throwing food off the high chair, which is a trajectory schema, or maybe they're constantly wrapping toys in blankets, that's enveloping, or lining up cars in perfect rows, positioning. These are not random, they're patterns of play that help our children make sense of the world. And this is what I'm all about. When we understand why our children are doing these things, it suddenly feels less frustrating. Instead of thinking, why on earth are they unrolling the toilet paper again? We can reframe it as, you're working on the rotation schema. You're learning, you're curious, and then redirect them to another rotation activity that isn't the toilet roll, or just embrace the toilet roll action. That little shift changes everything. It helps us to connect instead of clash. So this is where we think about play schemas and newborn prep. So we're about to add a newborn into the mix, and we know all too well that life is about to get a whole lot busier, more noisy, and full of change for everyone, for all of us, but especially our kids. This is a big transition. Suddenly, mum and dad's attention is being shed further. Routines shift, and a tiny human is soaking up a lot of time and energy. So this is where understanding play schemas really come into its own. Because when my 2-year-old is suddenly obsessed with pushing the pram back and forth across the living room, I can see through the lens of the transportation and transformation schemas. It's not just a random behaviour, it's them processing the big changes in our family. They're rehearsing what it means to move a baby around, to care, and to copy what they've seen me do. Or when my 4-year-old builds endless enclosures for his toys, I can understand that he's working on the enclosure schema, practicing what it means to keep a baby safe and contained. When we see these patterns, it stops us from saying, oh, please, not that again. Why does it have to be all over the floor? Instead, it helps us say, yes, I see you and I understand. Let me support you in this. And that is connection. So I've just opened the door to the Play Schemas Collective. So if you want some ideas around understanding and supporting these schemas in more depth, make sure you head over to playschemas.com/collective to find out more. That's play, schemas.com/collective. So what I've done is I've prepped myself with play schemas knowledge so that I can support and understand my little ones in their play and how they're navigating changes. But how am I supporting them? So here are my top 3 things that all kids need to know about newborns and how I actually talk to my 2-year-old, well, nearly 2-year-old, and 4-year-old about their baby sibling who's yet to come. It's worked so wonderfully with my first, and since then I've had so many friends use the same 3 with so much success, and I want you to be able to have that success too. Now, you may be thinking, 3 things? Have you had a newborn before? Yes, I know. There are so many points that I could teach my children before they welcome their new sibling, but the key is to keep it simple. They don't need a biology textbook version. They just need the heart of it. And once the baby comes, there is so much more that can be taught through play. Okay, so for us, the top 3 all comes down to these things. Baby needs lots of sleep, babies need lots of cuddles, and baby needs lots of mummy milk. So let's break it down. So number 1, babies need lots of sleep. That means sometimes mummy and daddy will be busy helping the baby sleep. It also means that the baby might cry, not because anyone's upset, but because sleep is such a big job for them. It also helps them understand that this baby won't suddenly arrive as their new play buddy, ready to join right in with the rough and tumble or Lego play. Number 1, babies sleep. Number 2, babies need lots of cuddles. Babies grow best when they're touched, held, and snuggled. And guess what? Me and daddy still have lots of cuddles for you too. It's not just the baby who gets them. It helps them understand that when others come over and always ask to cuddle the baby, this is what's happening. But also, it can be an awesome connection point for you. Because when someone else is holding the baby, you can then have some quality time with your older one. I'll always remember when one of my good friends came to visit. She had a 2-year-old, and her second and my first were born about a week or so apart. Her boy would only contact nap and had fallen asleep on her, trapping her, while my baby was happy just kicking around on the mat. So I said to her 2-year-old that I could play with him outside, but he just wanted mummy. So I held her baby, and she went out and played with him for a good 15 minutes, something they both needed. She came in nearly in tears, realizing she hadn't played with him much. So make sure that you're very aware of the needs of both kids, but if someone else is cuddling the baby, you can go to your older one and just take a break from the little one. But all through this, it does help them know that babies will most likely be in someone's arms a lot of the time. Okay, number 3, babies need lots of mummy milk. Feeding takes time and patience. Now for me, I'm definitely on the team fed is best. So no matter if you're bottle, breast, hybrid, feeding takes a lot of time. And the reality is, even with a bottle, it's more than likely going to be mum doing the feeding if they're the one at home with the kids while dad's out at work. So for them knowing that baby needs a lot of mummy milk helps them know that mummy might be sitting still a lot. And it doesn't mean that I'm going to be unavailable. It means we can read a story, chat or snuggle while I feed, but it lets them know that I'm going to be tied up with feeding a lot. So those are the top 3. Mummy milk, lots of cuddles, and lots of sleep. And everything else, the toys, the routines, even the endless piles of washing and nappies, they all do orbit around those needs. So for example, when you're talking about the sleep, you can add in, they need a nappy change before or after their sleep. So yes, all those points can be added later. Something I've navigated more than once is, you're super kind giving our baby a blanket, but we always need to make sure we can see their nose and mouth. So when we link back to play schemas, when I see my 2-year-old pretending to feed his doll again and again, I know he's exploring the changes. In this case, how feeding helps a baby grow and mimicking what he sees others doing, and eventually what I'll be doing in a few short weeks. I have a great photo of my oldest drinking cow's milk out of a bottle while having a haka pump on his chest, wanting to transform both into mum and the baby at the same time. Or maybe I'll see that boy who's now 4 carefully position his animals in rows next to the baby's crib he's made. That's the positioning schema. He's making sense of order, care, and control in a world that might suddenly feel unpredictable. By recognizing these patterns, I can step in and support their play in meaningful ways, offering an extra muslin cloth for the doll, letting them help fetch nappies, or even giving them safe, schema-friendly activities while I'm feeding the baby. It helps keep everyone calmer, connected, and feeling seen. And I can't talk about welcoming a new baby without touching on love languages, because it's really beautiful when you see how schemas overlap with love languages. For example, if your child's love language is acts of service, they might dive into the transportation schema, wanting to fetch things for the baby. If it's physical touch, you'll see it in the cuddles, in the way they swaddle dolls or wrap toys in blankets, which is the enveloping schema. Maybe it's quality time. They crave shared play, inviting you into their little schema world so that you can build, line up, or enclose things together. When we understand both schemas and love languages, we get a fuller picture of what makes our child feel loved, secure, and connected during a big family shift. If you want to know more about love languages, episodes 13 to 19 was a series I did on love languages, so head there and you'll be able to dig in more. Okay, so here's the little takeaways for today. So number 1, notice what schema your child is in. Number 2, think, how can I connect to this while preparing for a baby? And number 3, and then support it with something real and tangible. So if they're into transportation, let them carry safe items for the baby. If they're into enveloping, give them blankets to wrap their toys in. If they're into positioning, let them help set up the baby change station with you. It's not about perfection, it's about connection and involving them. So they're all part of this welcoming baby process. So as I prepare for our own family's big transition, I'm holding on to those 3 truths. Baby need lots of sleep, babies need lots of cuddles, and babies need lots of mummy milk. And I'm using the schemas as my roadmap for helping me and my toddlers feel secure, included, and loved in the process. And you can do the same. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love for you to come and connect with me over on Instagram at play_schemas, which is SCHEMAS, where I share more tips and some behind the scenes of our family life. Or you can head to the show notes at playschemas.com/blog for more resources, links, and freebies. And if you know another parent who's about to welcome a new baby into the family, please share this episode with them. It might just help them shift from chaos to connection, one play schema at a time. Thanks so much for listening, and until next time, keep noticing, keep connecting, and remember, today is a great day to play.